One of my favorite SEOs in the world, and just one of my favorite people, Mr. David Quaid, is back.
You're too kind. You're making me
Dude,
blush.
I'm
Stop,
I'm
stop.
I'm excited you're here. I'm happy you're here, and you're going to be sharing. You're going to be giving even more value. You just keep on giving, David.
I love sharing. I love SEO, and I just want to make it easier. And also, I think I wanted to call this the Thanksgiving, giving thanks to the community. I think all of the people who came on to support us, all of the feedback we got on LinkedIn and YouTube. And if people have more questions, keep asking them on the YouTube channel, right? We definitely want to get to answer all of those questions. There's nothing too simple, nothing too complicated, I hope, but we'll definitely try to get to everything. And so I'm going to base this on that feedback from that people are asking about.
Cheers to that. So and
Absolutely.
you're sharing some free SEO tools today.
Yeah, I think one of the most important free SEO tools out there is Bing Webmaster Tools. And I think a lot of people ignore it because Bing has such a small user base. And I wanted to just sort of like show you that there's actually an incredible amount of value in the Bing Webmaster Tools. You don't even have to set up and revalidate. You can actually log in using your Google Search Console username, and any domains that are in your GSC console you can import here without having to reset up and waiting again. So it's pretty instant. This is something you can do right after the show. And there are some amazing hidden gems in here that once I show people, they're like, I didn't know. So if you're kind of in a position where you're not sure if you should buy into one of the big top five SEO tools that everyone buys into, give this a crash first. There are five really, really important tools in Bing Webmaster Tools. The first is the Microsoft Clarity, the Site Scan, the keyword research, probably the least effective of all tools, and then the Backlink Monitor, and then also obviously how you can see how you're ranking in Bing. Bing is very important for anyone who's building SaaS products in the Microsoft Azure or Windows ecosystems. If you're selling something on Azure, you're going to have a lot more click through in Bing, and it's a really important place to rank. One of the other key differences is that most of the keywords that SEO is optimized towards in Google corral slightly differently in Bing. So if you're doing everything great in Google and you're not seeing the same results in Bing, then maybe the keyword research tool in Bing can help you uncover why. So let's just jump into the Microsoft Clarity. But first of all, before I go any further, one of the most interesting things, because I think Google have given up on, or they're trying to downplay backlinks. And one of the most frequently asked questions I see on X, on Reddit, especially, and also in the Google Product Support Forum is how do backlinks work? A lot of people are asking, hey, I keep getting this crawled, not indexed, or discovered, not indexed error message in GSC. Google does say that's about content quality. We've had this discussion 100 times. It's absolutely about a lack of authority, and at least Bing is honest about it, right? So I just picked this domain name that I'm domaining at the moment, and I don't have any backlinks to it. And you can see this message: your site does not have enough inbound links from high quality domains. So if your site doesn't have enough quality links and Google's not indexing you, this is why. This is the only answer. It's not about quality. It's about establishing that first base of authority.
Bing is
So
telling it like it is. Google Search Console is
Bing
not
is
going to give
telling
you
it
that
like,
message.
absolutely not. So let's take a look. So Microsoft Clarity is an external product. It's a tool that Microsoft bought in and they've made it free. It's GDPR compliant. It's a heat map, but it's also a session recorder. What that means is as people get into your website and they start scanning around, scrolling up and down, it tracks the mouse events. And you can see where people leave the mouse. It's a visual cue. That's what they're reading on. They'll click sometimes, which will tell you like that's something they're interested in. So if you've got a small snippet of information and it's not clickable and you see people clicking there, that means that's a great opportunity for you to extend their stay. That's what they want information on. If you see people scrolling through text very slowly, you know that that's what they're reading. If they scroll really quickly, you know that that's boring them, and wherever they stop and start, or if you see them rage clicking, and it actually has a rage click report as well. So that's where people start tapping the button. I see that mostly on sites like SaaS sites where they have logos of clients and they want to read a case study. So if you've got a logo and it's a big brand and people are clicking on that, they want to know more. So it's a really great tool for all marketers, not just SEOs. It's great for web developers, CRO, everything. And like I said, this is a full enterprise product that Microsoft gave for free in order to boost adoption in Webmaster Tools. So the next free tool is the SEO Scan tool, and it's not as in depth as some of the health check reports that you know the more commercial tools that cost $100 a month and up to. It's not screaming frog, but it is a pretty good tool that helps you just make sure you don't have any basic errors like broken links, that your pages aren't too big. You can give it the scope. So we'll just start with like scan name. So we'll call this quick scan November. We can ask it. We can either give it the website address or a sitemap or a specific URL list and ask it to crawl subdomains. And we can also say limit scan to 500 pages, and then it'll email you the health report. And it's pretty good. And like I said, it'll help you detect your most common issues like broken pages, broken images, missing or short page titles, which aren't great. Um, 90% of what most SEOs need 90% of the time, it works 90% of the time. And so I think if you're not getting the full value or you're thinking about can you afford moving up to $100 subscription, especially if you're overseas and $100 is a lot more money, um, you know, use this first. And once it's not keeping you busy, then you can migrate on to another tool. But this is great for starters, and if you've got your own website and learning SEO. And we'll come back to what the output is.
David, by the way, can you
Um,
increase the size of your text?
oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, it's all good.
Keep forgetting I'm on the mega screen. So let's just take a look at some other scans I've run. Oh, there's none showing. So, all right, I'll forget that. I'll wait for this to come back. I think one of the other really interesting plugins is IndexNow. This allows you to connect a plugin to your WordPress, and it'll automatically tell Bing to index it, right? I think there is a misconception about crawlers and crawling and how crawling works. I think a lot of people conflate crawling with indexing. Um, Google has no problem crawling and finding every possible URL. IndexNow is really it's a bit of a bait trick by Microsoft. If you publish a new page, basically Bing is saying they'll automatically index it. Google won't. Google won't index anything that doesn't have backlinks to it. If no one's willing to link to you, why would Google consider you in a million pages per index? You're not going to rank. So this is a cool tool. Google's never going to support it, but it's useful.
Backlinks, sorry, backlinks
Um,
are for people listening. Backlinks or like internal links as well.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely.
Because
So
a lot of people just associate backlinks with like a link from one site to another site, but it can be an internal link too.
So let's have a look at the keyword research tool. Again, this is really limited to the Bing universe. So if we put in, for example, um, SEO tools, we're not going to get as many keywords as we are in the Google universe, but it's a starting place. This will give you a histogram of popularity of those keywords, where those keywords are being searched, and then it'll give you related keywords. It'll also break it into question keywords, so you can build out your FAQ or people also ask, which we talked about in our other sessions. And it'll also show you who the top ranking pages are, and it'll also give you an insight into what their topics are. So you can start to see how Bing builds out its topical authority. And then newly discovered keywords. If there's any keywords in this, so let's take this down to just SEO and see if there are, nope, no new keywords, related keywords. So some quite broad reading from Bing, but also it doesn't get to that level of specificity that Google gets to.
It's a cool free tool which I'm sure you know of. Answer the Public.
Answer the public always comes up. Yeah, that is definitely a great free tool. I think what's important about this is if you're trying to rank, for example, let's look at something like Azure Load Balancer. Um, Inside the Bing network, if you want to rank, these are the keywords that you need to associate yourself with. So if you don't have these keywords in your pages and you're not ranking in Bing, this is why. So Google is moving keywords and has been moving keywords to topics for a long time. So does Bing, and these are the keywords that you need to align with, and then you'll see your ranking and traffic going up. I think that the best tool, and this is even superior to the tools that people buy, is that not only can you look up your own domain, but you can look up the backlinks to any site on the world. So we could take any domain. Do you want to offer one? Do you have any domains we should spy on?
Let's do Screaming Frog. Let's do Screaming Frog site and see the links that they have. I think it's screamingfrog.co.uk.
Okay. What's also really great is that unlike some of the other tools, this Bing automatically reduces anything that's not spam. So if you're trying to figure out why your competitor is ranking, and you're seeing a lot of other backlinks show up in, say, Semrush or Ahrefs or Moz or Majestic, a lot of those links don't have any value, and Bing's pretty good at working out, and they think along the same lines as Google. So they'll remove a lot of the really, really rubbish links. Also, some competitors might be buying from link farms that hide their domains from Semrush and from Ahrefs, but obviously they don't hide them from Bing, and so this is a place they'll turn up. So you can actually look at the links in here and see what are they looking for, and you can get the whole lot for free for every domain. So 512 pages of backlinks for Screaming Frog.
This method of marketing is so effective, I had to make sure it wasn't against Google's rules before I kept doing it. It's a form of SEO I call compact keywords. Whereas most SEO focuses on putting up articles to answer questions how, what, when, compact keywords focuses on putting up dozens of pages that sell to searchers who are actually looking to buy. These pages rank on Google and convert so much better than normal that when I discovered this years ago, I couldn't believe this was allowed. It's less work too. The average compact keywords page is only 415 words. Compact Keywords is a 13-hour deep course on getting sales with SEO. A customer recently said, "Each lesson is dense with information. You're giving years worth of experience boiled down into 15 to 30-minute lessons with no filler or fluff. I feel like I'm gaining a new superpower." Compact Keywords is about setting up an SEO funnel that brings you sales for years and years and years. It works with AI, it's less work than traditional SEO, and it makes way more money. You can get it now at compactkeywords.com. Back to the podcast. Man, David Quaid, bringing the value. This is just a great episode, man. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think there are a lot of free tools. I don't think you have to spend a lot of money to do SEO. I think it helps if you're an agency and you've got hundreds of reports to do every month. It makes sense, but I think most users will get away with using Webmaster Tools.
Yeah. You know, funny enough about the free, I think I told you this, I'm not sure, but for this backlink tool with Bing, I think I ranked for a while for free backlink checker, and which was a pretty competitive keyword if I recall. I don't know how competitive it still is, but it was, and it was with a YouTube short I made about Bing's backlink tool.
So I also ranked for Bing Search Console, which actually had a higher amount of search than Bing Webmaster Tools for a short while as well, while I was experimenting with different topical authority pieces. And it was interesting that more people searched for Bing Search Console than people searched for Bing Webmaster Tools inside Google, which I thought was really interesting.
All right, I want to finish. I want to finish with one more question, which was, I think you tweeted recently. You wrote, like, as an SEO, you have to be able to rank really fast, get index fast and rank really fast. You wrote something like that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, if you're not so if you're doing SEO and you've got a domain authority above like 25, 30, and you're publishing content and you're not ranking and you don't see yourself in an LLM in a day, then you're doing something wrong, right? So it comes back to, I think that SEO can take time, and there's that whole question of how long should SEO take? Why does SEO take time? And this is a question I answer a lot. Obviously, if you're doing SEO and you're working in an agency or in-house, you never want to overpromise and underdeliver. But I think as well that there's this sort of idea that everything in SEO has to take 6 months. Obviously, if you've got a brand new website, you buy the domain today, you're not going to be ranking by Sunday morning, right? Unless you happen to have a lot of other sites. Maybe if you're some of the other guests you've had, like Jackie Chow, he can rank by Sunday, right? No problem, because he's got domain names he can already link to. The thing about taking time in SEO comes down to, it's an algorithm, right? The same algorithm that is applied to CNN gets applied to your site. That's why Google has that value. If you look at Google's employee base, not a lot of them are working in search, right? Search is a highly optimized, low manual input. There's no quality review. There's no manual input. So if someone is, so the reason that people will say, it takes 3 to 6 months, that's because it takes them 3 to 6 months. So whatever access they have to building backlinks or getting authority, or whatever access they have to keyword research tools or discovering what keywords will help them rank fastest, that's where the time is. But there's no actual time in any of the PageRank modules. I don't think that Google is going to take new pages and assess them. And if you look at news sites and an old Matt Cutts video that I keep clipping,
You love that
where he
video.
says, we can index. I love that video. We can index you in seconds. That, it's the same for everyone. It's not because CNN is a brand, right? It's any site that's got the right topical authority and publishes something in that authority. What's amazing for CNN is they've just got so much topical authority. They can cover millions and millions of topics. I can cover most things about SEO, and if I know what the query fan out is, the minute I'm ranking in Google, I should be ranking in Gemini, I should be in Perplexity, and I can force ChatGPT and Grok to do a new search by adding a year or making the search time relevant. And I think that was one of the posts I did for, I wanted to see your podcast get up into the top 10. And so I added you to my blog post, and I think that took an hour to get into Perplexity. So if it's taking a long, long time, don't wait from the sense of like waiting will help. Go back and say, look, why am I getting backlinks? Where am I getting them from? Are they working? Maybe not. And I think that's where Bing comes in. If you put in your domain name and you don't see those backlinks, they're not helping you.
David Quaid, once again. And for anybody, David, you were talking about topical authority and query fanouts. You've been on the show twice so far, and I'm going to link you go in depth your SEO playbook and your approach to topical authority. That was in our first episode, which was an amazing 2-hour session. And then query fanouts in the second episode, and both those episodes will be linked to in the description for this one. David Quaid, thank you again for coming on the show. We're doing a bunch of quick episodes as well. In addition to like the longer guest episodes, we're doing quick episodes where previous guests come on and break down interesting things, just interesting individual topics. And this one was free SEO tools. And so, David, I'm always so happy to have you on the show, and I can't wait for the next one.
Thank you so much. Always a pleasure to be here.
And where can everybody, for people who aren't, who don't know where to find you, who aren't following you, where can everybody find you?
Find me on X as David G. Quaid, and keep putting those questions in the comments on YouTube. That's where we'll look. And if you put a question in, we'll try and cover it.
Yep. Cool. Thank you so much. All right. This is episode 871 of The Edward Show.
Wow.
Yeah. This is my daily digital marketing podcast, 871 days in a row doing this thing. If you watch this on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. If you listened on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, thank you so much for listening. And I will talk to you again tomorrow. Bye now.